And I want to bring this up. I know it's nothing to do with automotive, but in a world of social media, TikTok and all that, how do you keep a balance with the little one?
With the little one, so I have two, right? One's
Sure.
14 and she's, a little bit more mature. So I allow her to have a TikTok, right? She also has a YouTube channel. And it's funny because my younger one, she's 7, and her lifelong goal, and you ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? She wants to be a YouTuber.
I want to be a YouTube star.
That's
That's
right.
the thing now. Yeah, it's a potential viable career path, right?
That's
Or
right.
so they think.
But I think as marketers, the message changes up a little bit, and then the style. I mean, we've always got to be on top of that, but it seems like long format is dead. Like,
Right.
what
30
do you?
seconds,
It's all
yeah.
about
I mean, it's
Reels,
30.
right?
30
It's the
seconds.
reels
Now, right?
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, we've got Mike De La Cruz with Shop Boss. Welcome to Wrench Nation.
Thank you, sir.
It's always good to hang. I've known Mike for years, and what you do for the industry is incredible. We're going to talk about that. And of course, Tony Mercury,
Nice
Auto
to see you.
Shop Solutions. Tony, we talked about like the average shop is. We all want everyone to know about our shop and what we do and how how well we do it, with what we do, if you will. We're rock stars, period. And we develop these brands and logos and sort of these taglines, but then the whole reach side of things. In other words, how do we execute to the masses or pinprick to the clients? If I, run a Japanese shop, how do I attract that?
Yeah, yeah.
What shifts are you seeing today? Let's just fair game last year or so regarding SEO and such, the tools that are available to actually help us out with that brand reach.
I think one of the biggest things is, as a shop owner, you want to make sure you're getting outside of your own 4 walls, right? So if you're looking at it from the brand perspective, you have your differentiators, your awesome waiting room, your expectation, your client's expectation of when they're coming in to visit, but what does that look like outside of the building, right? So we're seeing a lot of shop owners, we've been doing this for years, sponsoring Little League teams, car shows. Brakes for Breasts is a big one right now that's rolling out here soon. So it's just making sure that you have that visibility in your local community, that you're just not a business. You're there to support them, right? Are you doing a backpack drive? Maybe you have your logo on there. So people start association, or, they're seeing that out in the public, right? The bumper stickers.
And so automotive
actively
almost
involved,
becomes secondary. Like we had a marketing calendar. I started flatlining in our business, where we did well, but I wanted to kick it up notches. And I realized someone had approached me and said, well, you need to brand more in the community. And I'm like, I'm not Coca-Cola. I can't brand. I need cars in my bays.
Right.
But there was a mind shift from car count to what I say now, people count. Are you seeing this with a lot of shops? Like, we do fix cars well. We have a wonderful waiting room. We've got the best technicians, but we're knee deep with the community.
Yeah, you got to have the billboard on the most heavily trafficked highways in the world. And it's funny because you always remind me of your technician with the bus stop, right?
We promote.
Like,
I mean,
promote your people, right?
Absolutely. I'm not going to grab a random photo from on. I'm going to promote Tom, like meet Tom.
Because that's who they see when they come in, right? So, you got to keep that billboard on the most heavily trafficked highways in the world. I'm a big believer in social, but I'm also a big believer in, like Tony said, your local community. Get involved with the Chamber of Commerce, the local car shows. How are you supporting our high schools nearby, right? Those types of things, and staying active, I think, can really set you apart from somebody, any of the competitors.
Yeah. Tony, let's talk about what I saw on Google, sort of a transition. Google, as the big gorilla in the room, had to transition regarding the social side of things. Facebook's here, Instagram's here, TikTok. Google sort of transitioned so a business could have their own Google My Page account, and they can post photos. How important is, speak on that?
That's super important. So again, just like you're doing, right? You really want to show the life, the culture, the community,
the experience.
The experience. Like, why? And this goes so far, right? And not even part of what I'm speaking later today, and part of my segment is, that's great for attracting new clients, but the big hot button right now is attracting talent, right? So if you're showcasing your culture, if you're on LinkedIn, you're showing these team outings, right? It's, life's about money, but as you get further along in your career, it's not always about money. It's those differentiators in the building. So
it's so cool you said that, because I just talked to Tatsu with Tokyo Motors, and he went to a 4-day work week, which that's really awesome. And so now he has this problem the wives of these mechanics are calling them, "Hey, are you hiring?"
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Wow,
Because I
that's
think
awesome.
the balance is, I think COVID may have really accelerated that. We got to know our spouses. Oh, that's what they look like, and our children. And
Great point,
but I
yeah.
think it's not just about money, and sure, we got to observe metrics. Are you seeing a lot of that, Mike? You travel the country. You talk to so many shop owners. Are you seeing a shift in mindset, like different ways of taking care of their people?
Big time, yeah. I think COVID taught us a lot, right? I mean, we went from this environment where it was just, high-fiving, handshakes, hugs, and all that, and then all of a sudden it was stripped overnight. So we had to pivot a little bit as an industry and really think about ways to be able to give that same customer experience more in a contactless way, right? Obviously, things are
Which
a lot
was a
better
challenge.
now.
That was a
100%. That's why you do like the text to pay stuff, like with 360. We've created sort of this contactless way of doing business. Not everybody likes that, right? We still like that face-to-face interaction. I do personally, right? But a percentage of our customers learned from this experience in COVID and said, you know what, like I could still get my car serviced, I could still pay the bill, I could still pick it up and not even have to deal with anything, and it's fully disinfected and everything's clean, and technician's gonna wear a mask, right? So it's this
You talk about still clean. We went out and we bought the COVID juice sprayer and all of this, and we were spraying. I mean, COVID was just a shock
Yeah.
for
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of.
For everybody.
And then like on your side is sort of representing Auto Shop Solutions for many years. I could imagine as a vendor, you had to take a deep breath and figure out, man, because like Zoom was there and so on,
Oh,
and now
yeah.
we're reconnecting, but digital was sort of a smack in the face to a lot of shop owners, I think, because as you mentioned, with the sort of text to pay and accelerating ways to remotely do business.
We saw a big change of shops adopting technology very quickly because we had to pivot so hard because we were all thrown into COVID and none of us have experienced this or walked through it. So at the beginning, we started a campaign, Don't Panic, Pivot, right? Like, here's how to move
love that.
along with these times and really
Yeah,
understand
That's
it.
right.
Don't panic, pivot. Let's get to website, because you look at websites and you say, I'm panicking. They need to pivot. If you could, I know we could go on and on about this, but if you can give me like one big no-no for those that may be doing their own websites and they feel like, I don't need to get involved with, outsourcing. What do you see that's a common big mistake that websites have, if I can ask?
Oh man, that's
I know.
that's a lot to unpack.
I know.
Honestly, I would say one of the biggest thing is quite often when we're onboarding a new client, we're noticing they don't have a lot of call to actions on their website, right? So you're putting all this time and effort into essentially a customer acquisition cost. Make it as easy as possible for them to do business with you. Talk about your differentiators. Talk about, the touchless pickup, drop off experience, and then again, going right back to hiring, make sure that you have a career page. You talk about your differentiators, your potential 4-day work week, right? And eventually, and tying that back into getting your brand out there is you're having that prominence. You're becoming synonymous with the local community, and then you're creating that brand, and eventually you'll get to a point where people want to come work for you. You don't have to recruit anymore.
I gotta
they're seeing
say,
what
I
you're
get
doing
excited,
online.
and I gotta interject because we saw it firsthand about 10 years ago when we flatlined, right? We had a couple locations and such, and I so wanted to like get to next level, and it just wasn't happening. It was like, but looking at the bigger picture, we were not providing sort of what I say now, the people want the people. So we, like as business owners, we're good at what we do. We're going to put our price points and we're going to expect the phone to ring, but we don't realize that people crave experiences.
Absolutely. Yep.
And you're speaking on that, which is really cool. Now on the tech side, like with Shop Boss and so on, on the tech side, like for years, some of us were reluctant because, we're getting in their lives too much. My soccer moms don't want to text, but that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, every customer is different, right? Every customer has a different method of communication. For some people, it's like, don't send me a text, don't send me an email, right? With this generational shift, I feel like it's getting more, people want quick and efficient, right? Just send me a text when my car's ready. I've got a business meeting, or I've got to pick up my kid at school.
I think of my daughter. She's like, Mom, don't call me.
Yeah,
text
shoot me
me.
a text.
She gets upset. Don't call me.
Yeah, wait till she says DM me.
Yeah. So TikTok. I want to dive into TikTok. A lot of shop owners understand the value of presence with social media. I talk to a lot of shop owners as well, and what they feel is like, well, how can I professionally put out what I do? After all, I'm fixing brakes. That's like a safety thing. And TikTok seems to be more of sort of this entertainment kind of how do you entertain and still maintain professionalism? It's a large question.
Yeah, that is tough. TikTok's very,
I mean, it's fast and furious.
Oh yeah,
I'm not doing
exploding.
TikTok, to be honest with you. Yeah.
If I was a shop owner, I would talk more. I would use it as like an educational platform because I still think there's a big disconnect from what the consumer understands and thinks they know about their car to what they actually know about the car.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So if they're on, maybe if you're sharing reels via social or resharing them on Facebook, talk about brakes, the pads, the rotors, and how that system works, and why you want to make sure show what a good brake pad looks like and what a bad brake pad looks like.
Is TikTok ranking? So like with Google, certainly YouTube, that helps with ranking. So when somebody searches for my shop, will TikTok be up on the?
I'm seeing more YouTube right now.
That's what I'm seeing, and I want to talk about that. But TikTok doesn't, and that's an argument that I've heard.
Well, Google's going to want to promote their own products, right?
Of course, yeah.
So I would, because YouTube rolled out their shorts, so it's their version, right? So,
I got a story on that I got to share.
So I would say I would go YouTube Shorts first versus TikTok, because if you're playing into that Google ecosystem, you want to do what they're looking for, right? You're doing their GMB posts, you have your website, Google all that. It's all going to tie together.
And then you got to get past the camera shyness, right? I think a lot of us are camera shy.
Well, we self-monitor.
But to Tony's point about the resharing, right? I've seen some really cool, quick TikTok videos, automotive related, that are funny as heck, right? And then just reshare those, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I did a test with Wrench Nation, actually. So our Desert Car Care one, we have like 12,000 subs. We haven't produced a video, but we got into the comments. That's another point. Like if you're gonna be video and it's gonna be YouTube, and no, you're not Eric the Car Guy or Humble Mechanic. All respect to those guys and Scotty Kilmore that do it for a living, if you will. But you got to hang in the comments. That also helps with some ranking if you're putting out a YouTube video.
Yeah, because it's showing the interaction.
Right, they want to see interaction. Right. So here's my story on shorts. I knew that the algos. So on TikTok, I got to go back to TikTok first. TikTok, I knew, okay, it's not ranking, so let me focus over here. The algos seem to be like YouTube short rich. And so we did these YouTube shorts. None of them I produced on my own. I just basically took sort of automotive funny videos and just put it up. We had one video get 2 million views.
Wow.
And we picked up 1,000 subs. But there's a problem. Who are these subs?
Exactly.
Are they my audience? And so I want to circle back to that. How important is it to have a strategy? So when we talk brand reach, we want to let the world know, but how do we pinprick the clients that we're after?
Yeah, and
I mean, that's always a challenge.
Yeah, that's the reach with YouTube, right? It's international. So you might have subs from Germany watching your content. So it's really, again, it's your overall brand awareness. It's getting it out there, and then you always want to tie it back locally to your community, right? And then again, using Google products, tie in your ads, share that content on your website, on your social. So again, when someone's making that informed decision of, hey, I want to bring my car to your shop to get it repaired, and then they're going to go down that self-rabbit hole.
There's a brand presence
right?
online from that, and I think TikTok, I mean, it's fun, it's addicting. I mean, I was on there for the first time, and I'm like, damn, 2 hours went by. I got stuff I got to do. But I think overall is I think we can all agree we got to identify the message that we're putting out, the market we're after, and the medium. How do we execute? Is it radio? Is it digital? Is it TV? And sometimes that can be frustrating because it's not always, we don't want to waste money.
And it's overwhelming.
And people know other people too. So even though, these 1,000 subs that you got, they may not be your target audience, they probably know somebody that does. So, if you're in need of auto repair or whatever, some marketing or whatever, the first people that come to mind is that TikTok video that they saw.
Yeah, and so as marketers, what do? We start analyzing. We're like, we got to dive in. How did I get 1 million views? What happened? Was my eyebrow up? What was? I mean, what keyword?
It's like a feather in your cap, right?
There's so much, but I think overall today I'm favoring, YouTube, all things YouTube because of the ranking, and
I would
sure
say.
you got to have. Can we jump to Facebook because a lot of folks
Absolutely.
are frustrated. What would you say? I'm sort of telling the story of my shop. How would I tackle Facebook? I mean, what's that? Is there any difference in approach? How do you see?
I like using Facebook from a shop perspective of, honestly, the biggest thing right now is culture. We're talking earlier about like people buy from people, and that's really showing the authenticity of your shop. Like, what are you doing? What's your community involvement? Recently, I got a chance to go up and see Dan Garlock at Silver Lake Auto. And one of the things he does for all his new hires is they close the shop down for lunch. They bring everybody in, and they invite the people's parents, so that way they can get to know the shop, where they're working, their coworkers, and everything. And it was really cool, and I was there and able to experience. And we took photos. They took photos and posted them online. So again, going back to hiring and the community.
It's the vibe of your tribe.
Totally.
Yeah, you're taking care of your employees, right? So a lot of people want to do business with people that are doing things like that. And then again, people are always looking for jobs, right? So have that out there and have it available to be viewed.
And also measure analytics too, right? Like look at your posts, which ones get the most activity,
Right, who's
right?
getting the
And
best
then
reach.
Yeah, right, exactly. But Facebook is an interesting animal. I remember 12 years ago when I started working for Demand Force, I used to have to convince shop owners to open up a Facebook page. It was always my grandkids on Facebook. I don't need it. The cool thing is you don't have to be an expert at it. You just have to have a basic understanding of how it works, right?
Here's something weird on Wrench Nation's Facebook, and of course you get so excited. We've built up. We've got like 60,000 folks following, but it's really weird. Tony, if I post a classic car pic, it's like somehow the algos were trained on this. We get so much love. We get thousands lots of shares. But the minute I announce a show with a special guest, it goes to the toilet. I mean, and it's something I'm looking at now. I mean, I'm not going to lose my mind over it, but it's weird how
I lose my mind over that stuff.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
like.
because it's like, what am I doing different?
So how did I build it wrong initially?
No, and I would use it as a part of the strategy, right? You're using that classic car content to get people to the Facebook.
Yeah.
Now they're on there, and then we all rabbit hole on social, YouTube, right?
Yeah.
TikTok, you spend hours on it. And then they start looking, and they're like, oh, maybe they didn't even know you had a show, right? And they're like, oh. And then there's that introduction, right? Now they're over to your website, and it's really we
It's
call
never
it
ending.
No,
It's
we call it
interesting, though.
omni-channel marketing, right? You want to be everywhere at the same
right.
time, the best you can, and it's daunting, but it's possible.
That's right. To Frank's point, I checked in at the San Jose airport coming in, and I have like, I don't know, 2,200 friends or something. And I probably had only like 40 views, 2 likes from my check-in. But then yesterday when we posted that video, I mean, there was probably like 400 views. So it's
weird.
interesting how it works.
My brother sent me a picture of his son on Instagram, and the picture basically said, "Check this out. My son is getting like millions of views, and he thinks that he's going to have a clothing company like sponsor his 18-year-old.
Okay.
Good kid and everything." But then I thought immediately, and it's a question for you, Tony, how important is to separate the vanity and actually get down to the business of conversion? Like in your business, we want hits to the website.
Absolutely.
So that can be a challenge. It's sort of this vanity. Like I got the likes and I got the likes and I got the likes, but did I actually get the call to action, which is in our world, we want folks ringing the phone, setting appointments.
Yeah, I mean, Mike said it perfectly earlier, is you really want to look at the data. How many people are hitting this page? How many people are transitioning? How many people are converting? So then that way you can make an informed decision of what type of content you want to start producing from there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm still looking at that video short. I'm saying, how can I reproduce this? So talk to us. Like we only as shop owners have so much time in the day before our eyeballs will fall out. Auto Shop Solutions, you guys actually provide all that.
We do,
insight.
yeah. So we offer, I call it the 4 pillars of internet marketing. So website, SEO, AdWords, and social media. So it's really what it takes to be successful online right now. So we want to make sure we're following that customer journey from that first interaction of brake repair near me, hitting them with an ad, getting them on SEO, Google My Business. So that way, again, omni-channel being everywhere at the same time. So that way you're ensuring a higher percentage rate of you're getting that click and phone call.
Shop Boss, tell us about Shop Boss, Mike.
Yeah, so it's a shop management system, cloud-based shop management system, built-in parts and labor matrix.
I like the
digital
parts
vehicle.
side, yeah.
Yeah, it's shop efficiency. I mean, it is really, really smooth. And it's interesting because obviously there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of cool stuff out there, right? But if you think about, like, if I could say, as a shop owner, if I could save an hour each day from my shop management system.
That's sanity.
You can use that to post on social.
Right, I know, right? Exactly. You could use it to post on, or create a reel.
There you go. Yeah.
Or a YouTube short.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of the leading shop management systems, cloud-based.
Do you find like a lot of shops still, you guys again visit a lot of shops, they're still chicken scratching old school invoices and they're not even connected with the technology that can actually enable them to be more profitable, keep their sanity? Are you still, I mean...
They're out there, not as much as they were 10 years ago,
Sure.
thankfully. But a lot of times they pick the wrong system. They have the wrong technology stacks, and it just sort of backs them up.
You said
Lesson
technology stacks.
Oh, that's huge.
That's
for a
like,
shop, yeah.
oh my gosh, I remember back in the day when, before everything kind of came together, I remember 12, 15 years ago, we had to have this because it did this, and then we had to have this program because it did this. Now we're merging all that in one. It was like a day trading system. Service advisors had all these big screens. Okay, that's for texting, that's for emailing, that's for... How important is to have it all in one sort of deal?
It so is. It's going to save you so much time every single week. Rather than chase the tail, right? You're chasing your tail, trying to figure out, okay, I have this, I have this, I have that. What's working, what's not? You're losing your mind. I mean, it's enough to rattle anyone's brain, right? So to have everything sort of in one centralized location and limit the amount of technology stacks, it's going to help with your operations.
Absolutely.
I like that. Technology stacks. I've not heard that before, but that's... I got to look at my stacking.
Yeah.
Because what'll happen? You stack too high, it all falls down.
Right? Yeah,
Mike De La Cruz,
Good man.
shop boss. Good to
man,
hang
Frank.
with you, Wrench
Thanks, always a
Nation.
pleasure.
Love
Tony
you,
Mercury,
brother.
Auto Shop Solutions. Please catch both of these gentlemen. They're very supportive of the industry. In the show notes, I'll make sure to have all the links. You guys can contact them on our ASCCA series. We'll see you next time.